Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Right now, as we speak, there is a silent, high-stakes battle raging beneath Morgan County homes. It's this invisible war between the local environment and your home's plumbing infrastructure. And honestly, whether you realize it or not, the soil, the water, the weather, they're constantly testing the limits of your pipes, your water heaters, and your sewer lines. So today, we're going to break down exactly what's happening behind your walls and beneath your floors. And more importantly, we'll talk about how you can protect your property from some pretty catastrophic damage.
All right, really quick, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with Mooresville's hidden plumbing threats, look at 4 very common plumbing disasters, map out the 3-step solution, explain why plumbing codes absolutely matter, and then finish up with some prevention strategies to protect your home.
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1. Mooresville's hidden plumbing threats, geography versus infrastructure.
So, because Mooresville sits right where the White River and its tributaries create these high water tables, your plumbing is already under constant pressure. But the first really aggressive threat, it comes from the cold. When the winter temperature drops below this critical 20-degree threshold, exposed pipes in your crawl spaces, your attics, and even exterior walls just freeze solid. And that freeze-thaw cycle from December through March, it is brutal. The ice inside those pipes expands with incredible force until, eventually, copper and PEX lines literally split wide open. And honestly, the scariest part is that the damage doesn't even show up right away. It's hidden until the temperatures rise, the ice melts, and boom, your home is suddenly flooding.
Then we've got our second major geographic threat, which is the soil itself. This is especially prevalent near State Road 67 and Newby Memorial Park. Wet clay soil acts exactly like a giant sponge. It expands and violently squeezes your slab, while dry soil shrinks and pulls away. So you have this constant shifting and moving that puts unbelievable stress on the water lines buried right beneath your home. Actually, if you live in an older home, one built before 1990, you might also have galvanized pipes. And those are simultaneously corroding from the inside out, which makes them even more vulnerable to all this shifting earth.
Moving right along to Section 2, 4 common plumbing disasters, the casualties of climate.
Let's connect the dots here and map these elements to specific disasters, just so you know exactly what warning signs you need to look for. Take failed water heaters, for instance. Hard well water deposits all this calcium and sediment inside the tank. If you ever hear these weird popping sounds or see rusty water, that is the sediment corroding the bottom of your tank, and it's a huge warning sign of an imminent leak. Or think about sewer line backups. Tree roots aggressively seek out moisture, right? So they penetrate cracked clay pipes, which leads directly to sewage backing up into your basement drains. Not fun. And if your home was built before 1970, brown water and low pressure are massive red flags. It usually means those aging galvanized supply lines are narrowing from the inside and are just getting ready to fail.
Which brings us to Section 3, the 3-step solution, the professional response.
So when these disasters inevitably strike, professionals use a highly structured response to build a permanent fix. Step 1, they don't guess. They isolate the failure with precise diagnostics. We're talking pressure gauges, high-tech sewer cameras to actually find the root cause. Step 2 is the repair or installation itself. Pros use commercial-grade parts stocked right on their trucks so they can provide an immediate fix, skipping those annoying multiple trips to the supply house. And finally, Step 3, which is absolutely crucial. Testing and cleanup. They pressure test everything, verify the drainage flow, and clean up the entire area before calling it a day. It's just a very precise, methodical approach to a really chaotic problem.
All right, on to Section 4. Why plumbing codes matter. The rule book for survival.
You see, fixing pipes isn't just about stopping water from leaking. It is about strictly adhering to the Indiana Plumbing Code. We really need to demystify some of this complex jargon, like cross-connection control. That sounds technical, but it's actually a mandatory code-enforced safety measure. Just imagine the water from your yard's irrigation system, or maybe a boiler fill line, getting siphoned backward, directly into your kitchen sink. Gross, right? Well, that is exactly what backflow preventers are designed to stop. Having these devices tested and certified annually ensures your home's drinking water actually remains safe to drink. So code compliance, it's not just annoying red tape. It is literally an invisible shield protecting your family's health.
Now you might be wondering, are permits just a bunch of Morgan County bureaucracy holding up my repair? I mean, it's a super common frustration when you're just trying to get your hot water back on. But the answer is entirely about life safety. And trust me, the consequences of ignoring this are severe. Skipping permits just to save a few bucks?
That can literally lead to carbon monoxide poisoning or even catastrophic tank explosions. If a gas water heater doesn't have the proper combustion air supply or the draft hood is aligned wrong, carbon monoxide will leak right into your home. And if a temperature and pressure relief valve is installed incorrectly, no joke, the tank can literally explode or dump scalding hot water at eye level. This makes professional compliance and local inspections absolutely non-negotiable. It is just not worth the risk.
And that leads us to our final part, Section 5, Protecting Your Home's Plumbing, Prevention Strategies.
Let's put the power back in your hands for a second. By adopting just a few actionable maintenance habits, you can dramatically extend the life of your plumbing against Mooresville's pretty harsh climate. Flushing your water heater every year? That clears out the destructive hard water sediment we talked about earlier. Testing your sump pump right before the spring rains hit can literally save your basement from flooding. Definitely insulate your exposed pipes before winter. That's your best defense against that 20-degree freezing mark. And please avoid chemical drain cleaners. They are essentially liquid sandpaper just eating away at your pipes. But most importantly, go locate your main water shutoff valve today. Seriously, when a pipe bursts, knowing exactly where that valve is will save you thousands of dollars in water damage in a matter of minutes.
So I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. Considering the really intense environmental pressures on your home, from shifting clay soils to freezing temps and hard well water, is relying on an unlicensed handyman really worth risking your property value and your family's safety? Unpermitted work creates massive title issues when you try to sell your home, and it can actually invalidate your insurance claims when things do fail. Remember, when man battles nature in the hidden plumbing of Mooresville, having professional, code-compliant infrastructure is your only true defense. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, stay vigilant out there.